What's good, y'all? It's TrashDaKid here, and I had to watch this video. I wanted to watch this video with you guys together because I had woke up like around 8 or 9 p.m. yesterday because my sleep schedule was messed up, and I saw something. I saw like something greet my eyes when I woke in and went on YouTube. I saw this video from YongYea talking about Titanfall 3. I'm like, oh, Titanfall 3 news? Oh, what is this about? And I see internet more the painful cancellation of Titanfall 3. I'm like, huh? And then I see this title over here. I'm like, nah, there's no way this is true. So we're gonna watch this to see exactly what's going on here, because if what I'm looking at is correct, that means this was in development for 10 months and we could have had Titanfall 3. I love Titanfall. I love Titanfall 1. I love Titanfall 2. I played that so much when they first came out. I think around, it was like a few years ago. But EA in their infinite wisdom decided that, hey, let's release Titanfall 2 in the middle of Call of Duty and Battlefield. What? And it makes me even more angry because Battlefield is also under EA. So why would you set Titanfall? I'm sorry. I'm getting angry. Let's just watch this video together because I need to see. I need to hear what the news is on this. I did watch like 30 seconds of it, but I don't remember much. But let's see. It's because of Apex, isn't it? It's because of Apex.
Every once in a while, the gaming news cycle will make gamers ask,
why are we still here?
just a sub.
Titanfall, man. Titanfall. It cannot catch a break. 2 came out to critical acclaim, but it was kind of doomed to die because of the timing in which it was launched. It was sandwiched right between frickin' Battlefield and Call of Duty, and so it kind of got lost.
Titanfall was the best game out of the 3 because I think it was Battlefield 1, like the I think I forgot the time period, but it wasn't like modern anymore. But no one was talking about that after a while, and I think, was it Call of Duty Infinite that came out around that time too? If it was Call of Duty Infinite, then people hated that game. But yeah, Titanfall 3 or Titanfall 2, great game. Wish it had more eyes on it, but like he said, it got sandwiched between 2 behemoths of games that came out, even though they weren't that good compared to Titanfall 2.
And
but
ever since we've wanted a sequel, properly made, properly released, the potential of Titanfall is immense.
Yes.
And while Respawn did launch Apex Legends and it's been widely successful,
I was happy for it.
It still doesn't
in the beginning.
change the fact that people are clamoring for a campaign experience in the world of Titanfall and that multiplayer involving mechs. And it just feels like we're never going to get that. Now, back in February of 2023, we heard about the cancellation of a Titanfall project. This is an article from Jason Schreier. The headline reads, Electronic Arts cancels secret Apex Legends game in development. Scrolling further down, EA canceled the game based on the popular Apex Legends and Titanfall franchises, according to 3 people familiar with the matter. And at the time, we only had very vague details about this project, that it was codenamed TFL, or Titanfall Legends, was a single-player game set in the universe shared by the Apex Legends and Titanfall games. It was directed by veteran designer Mohamed Alavi until he left the company in early 2022. Although the game hadn't been advertised, EA had hinted at it several times. Fans have been clamoring for a new single-player entry in the critically acclaimed Titanfall series for several years. A planned 3rd game morphed into Apex Legends. Ever since this article came out, fans have been wondering just what the hell happened. What could have possibly drove them to cancel a Titanfall 3? Well, this was all further elaborated on by none other than veteran designer Mohamed Alavi, who was directing the project until he left the company in 2022. And here's the crazy part. As it turns out, it wasn't EA's executive decision to cancel Titanfall 3 and transition into the development of Apex Legends. That was actually Respawn's decision. And what makes all this especially sting is that Titanfall 3 was actually in development for quite some time before its cancellation. It was in development for 10 months before being canceled, ex-developer claims. This is a story from June 13th, 2023. And you can see right here that this story has gone viral. Already 11 million views.
11 million views, that's insane.
11.6 thousand likes. This is a testament to how beloved Titanfall is, just how much people are craving for a sequel with a proper campaign.
Titanfall will make me, because I'm not into FPS games anymore, like the FPS competitor games. I kind of stopped that. I play a little bit of Modern Warfare 2 because it's like a free trial happening like a couple months ago. But I'm like, yeah, nah, it ain't for me. This Modern Warfare 2 game, the new one. I know a game called X Defiant is coming out, which looks kind of interesting, seeing some gameplay. But if Titanfall 3 was to come out today or this year, that will maybe get back into the competitive FPS gameplay or the vibe. But it has not happened. I need to know why. Why was this canceled? Respawn.
That beautiful gameplay that combined boots on the ground and also mechs in this seamless
experience.
The
mechs was so great.
Epic. You can see how beloved Titanfall is by not only the viewership here, but by the responses where people are just completely mourning the news that Titanfall 3 could have been a possibility before its cancellation.
Crying, yeah.
And just the feeling that it feels like it's never going to happen, even though no series right now feels more deserving of a sequel than Titanfall, given what it accomplished, given the potential that it has with modern technology, with modern graphics. I mean, just imagine what Titanfall 3 could look like in 2023 or in this generation of consoles. So, yeah, the memes and the outpouring of sadness is palpable. So what exactly happened behind the scenes?
Yes,
well,
this
was all detailed by Mohammed Alabi, a former game designer for Titanfall, when he engaged with an interview with this outlet called the Burns Network. And this right here is the whole excerpt, the whole shebang on what he said about Titanfall 3's development and why 3 was canceled, why Apex Legends was favored. So here's what he had to say. Titanfall 2, came out, did what it did, and we're like, okay, we're going to make Titanfall 3, and we worked on Titanfall 3 for 10 months, right? In earnest, right? I mean, we had like new tech for it, we had multiple missions going, we had a first playable, which was like on par to be just as good, if not better, than whatever we had before.
That sounds really great.
Yeah, just sprinkle that salt on the wound. He's basically saying the development of this game was shaping up pretty well.
It's about to be nutty.
I'll make this clear, incrementally better, it wasn't revolutionary. And that's the kicker, right? And we're like feeling pretty decent about it, but not the same feeling as Titanfall 2, where we were making something revolutionary, you know what I mean? And then the multiplayer team was having a hell of a time trying to fix the multiplayer because a lot of people love the multiplayer. People love Titanfall 2 multiplayer, but people who love Titanfall 2 multiplayer is a very small number of people, which I'd say in large part has to do with the way EA doomed Titanfall 2 by launching it sandwiched smack between the two biggest first-person shooter IPs in gaming history, Battlefield and Call of Duty. I think these numbers could have been significantly bigger had EA not launched Titanfall 2 during such a packed and busy month.
Because Titanfall 1 was released only on Xbox console, which was a huge miss, because they missed the whole PlayStation side. I think it was also on PC as well, Titanfall 1. But Titanfall 2 was on PS4 and Xbox One, and it would have been great, but like he said, between two big games.
But at the same time, Mohammed makes the case that while Titanfall 2 is a great game and it's a fun experience, it's just not as accessible. There's just too much going on. He says that most people play Titanfall 2 multiplayer and think it's really good, but it's just too much. It's cranked up to 11 and they burn out a bit fast. And they're like, that was a great multiplayer. That's not something I continually play for like a year or two, right? So we're like trying to fix that. We're trying to fix that from Titanfall 1 to Titanfall 2, trying to fix it from 2 to 3. The multiplayer team was like just dying. So I guess they were trying to figure out how to make Titanfall just feel more accessible, less just, I don't know, like there was just too much happening at once. Like these multiplayer matches can be pretty intense.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Think about just how much is happening in terms of mobility options and the mechs coming into play.
That's great.
And the dichotomy that causes and the strategic implications of all of that.
Which is all great.
There's definitely a lot happening in these multiplayer matches compared to your typical multiplayer experiences, your typical shooters. But I feel like that's part of the charm.
Yeah, that's why we like it. Yeah,
I don't know if there's a good
it's so chaotic and crazy
between the Titanfall gameplay that people love that is just so intense. And there is a lot going on, but that's what makes it so adrenaline infused and so exciting. But also trying to find a way to dial things down where they need to be, so that more people can play these games without feeling like there's just too much happening on screen.
No. That's why you have different game modes for that. That's why there's different game modes in Titanfall 2 if you want like less action packed. But no, that's why I think majority of us like Titanfall 2 or the Titanfall series. It's so crazy, chaotic. You got enemy players running around. You got human players. Not human players. You have AI. They're like also part of like the battlefield and like attrition and some other game modes. You got robots over here fighting too, like the Reapers. The smaller robots. It was great. It was a great time. You could hack robots. I think you could hack. No, that was just campaign. You could hack robots. I think it was great. Then you got Titans coming from the sky over here doing human to human combat, like humans versus human combat, and a Titan. So you got Titan versus Titan and Titan versus humans. It was great, chaotic, fun. You got some game modes too. It was great. It was great fun. What do you mean make it more accessible? That's what the game modes are for. No, we could have had something right here. I'm sorry, getting a little heated again. I don't understand.
So that more people can
it's
play these games.
Sorry. It's only because it was released in a horrible time between Call of Duty and Battlefield. That's the only reason why there wasn't a lot of people playing multiplayer. And by that time, when people were sick of the new Battlefield game at the time and the Call of Duty game, they just forgot about Titanfall. But if it was released during a different time, like either earlier or later, it would have been just fine. It would have been phenomenal.
Without feeling like there's just too much happening on screen. I don't know. For me, Titanfall never felt like too much. But then again, compared to something like Call of Duty, there are more layers. So for mass audiences beyond just your hardcore players, maybe it is not as appealing. And so them trying to dial that apparently proved to be a challenge.
Well, sorry for bossing again. Well, apparently people don't like the new Call of Duty game anymore. Like, some people are like angry at this new Call of Duty game. I don't know too much about it,
but then during the development of Titanfall 3, PUBG came out, says Mohammed, and I don't know if you remember Alex Rojcevic. Yeah, I don't know how to say that, but Alex was starting to play PUBG, and then Jeff started playing PUBG, and then they made a battle royale map with Titanfall 3 classes, and there is essentially the origin story of Apex Legends. That's where they got the light bulb to be like, why don't we make a battle royale? It was actually just Respawn trend chasing, but also seeing the potential in taking the classes that they built for Titanfall 3 and making a genuinely fun and innovative battle royale. And to Apex Legends' credit, it's doing really well because it got in early enough before the market got oversaturated, and they put their own unique spin on it. And so Apex Legends it really does feel like they didn't just copy and paste. It feels like they took a genre and they ran with it and did their own thing with it, and it succeeded really well.
Yeah, because I think Apex Legends was like, oh shoot, this is the Fortnite killer, because Apex had some things that not even Fortnite had, or the Battle Royales had, like the pinging system. I believe Apex was the first Battle Royale to have pinging system, and I think revives, like you respawn your teammates, I think. I could be wrong about that second one. But no, it was a great game. I was playing it a bunch when it first came out, but then I stopped playing it because I'm like, FPS games, I'm tired of the Battle Royale genre. I didn't know that's the reason why they stopped developing, because they played PUBG. Like, you know what? We should make a Battle Royale game since we can't revolutionize Titanfall 3, which you don't need to revolutionize it. You don't have to revolutionize every single game you make. It's okay. It's okay to, like, keep some of the same stuff from, like, Titanfall 2 and, like, add on to it. It's fine. Okay? It's okay.
Still played by, millions and millions of people. It's raking in a lot of money. And in terms of the business side of things, it was the right call. Like, Respawn,
yeah, it was the right call. I really wish they would have kept.
It's raked in a lot of money for EA.
Titanfall 3 direction.
So EA is, I think, more willing to give a studio like Respawn carte blanche and trust because they've had such a consistent track record. And now with the Star Wars Jedi series of releases, the single-player Star Wars games, those have been doing really well critically and commercially. And so, look, I'm not necessarily saying it was the worst decision or
it wasn't
even
the worst decision.
One. It's just a tragic decision given how much people desire a Titanfall 3, and hopefully it's something that's still somewhere down
please
the
keep
pipeline.
it on the table.
Hopefully it's not something that they're casting aside, especially with modern technology, to be able to take Titanfall gameplay and visuals to a whole new level. Mohammed then continues that at the time, I had just literally become the narrative lead designer on Titanfall 3. I had just pitched the story, the whole game that me and Manny had come up with, made this big presentation, and then we went off a break and went back from break, and we talked about it, and we're like, yeah, we need to pivot, and we need to make this game Apex Legends. So once again, it wasn't EA executives who stepped in. We're like, no Titanfall 3 for you, no Titanfall 3
It wasn't
for gamers.
EA for once. That's
crazy.
crazy.
Respawn who just looked at their current situation. They were developing Titanfall 3, and they were going, this is just like, it's better than Titanfall 2, but it's not this huge leap. So instead of making an iteration of something that didn't quite succeed financially, they decided, let's try to make something new and different and try to follow this trend while putting our unique spin on it and see if we can make a successful game out of that. And to Respawn's credit, they did make a very successful product.
Yeah, because, sorry for pausing, I was going to mention this. Because when Apex was, like, released, I don't think there was too much, like, what do you call it? Commercials or, like, any, like, what's the word? Like, they weren't, like, showing, like, Apex, like, hey, Apex is coming out. You should get this game. Like, Like on Fortnite, they would like show like news, ads, it'd be everywhere. But Apex is kind of like a stealth release. That makes sense why EA wasn't like a part of making Apex Legends, because there wasn't like too much like news about it. Like when it came out, it was like kind of like a stealth release. EA had no control over that. And then EA saw like, oh shoot, people really like this game. Okay, hold on now. Let's kind of slime our way in here. Let's add some stuff to this Apex Legends. Hold on, we can make some money off of this. We can make some serious fucking money. EA did. Okay, that makes sense then. Why they were
but
in
we
control
still
at the
need
time.
Titanfall 3. We still
Yes,
want
we do.
that. Hopefully the success of Apex Legends will give them more breathing room to make projects like Titanfall 3 and allow them to have just more time, less pressure, just more freedom.
Put mechs in the game. Put mechs in Apex Legends. I'll buy it. I'll take it.
They've certainly fallen in EA's good graces, and as a studio and with how much money they're making from Apex Legends, I feel like they've stabilized, and so maybe that'll allow them to really make Titanfall 3 a big leap from Titanfall 2 is the hope, and maybe that will finally inspire them to give us what so many people desire. But yeah, Mohammed further extrapolates on why Titanfall 3 just didn't feel right at the time. We literally canceled Titanfall 3 ourselves because we're like, we can make this game and it's going to be Titanfall 2 plus a little better, or we can make this thing Apex Legends, which is clearly amazing. And don't get me wrong, I will always miss having another Titanfall, you know what I mean? I love that game. Titanfall 2, like I said, is my most crowning achievement. But it was the right call, Mohammed believes. He concludes by saying, that is a crazy cut. Such a crazy cut that EA didn't even know about it for another 6 months. Which further highlights that EA executives had nothing to do with the cancellation of Titanfall 3. They didn't even know about it until 6 months after Respawn decided we're not doing Titanfall 3. So, you know, Respawn led EA to huge financial success.
Yeah, profit-wise, this was the best choice. This was the better choice.
Like, let's try something different this time. Let's try a battle royale.
It's understandable.
See if we can bring something unique to it.
I wish they, like, later on, they make a Titanfall 3.
Fascinating new revelation right there. EA wasn't trying to keep Respawn on a leash. They were saying, hey, if you want to make Titanfall 3, make Titanfall 3. It was Respawn who said, maybe not. What about this other thing that, you know, we came up with after PUBG inspired this, and it's kind of really fun. Why not lean in this direction? And, you know, a lot of people enjoy Apex Legends, to be fair, but we want Titanfall. Isn't that crazy? The timing of PUBG's release is essentially what killed Titanfall because it inspired Apex Legends. It inspired this pivot. And I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that, obviously, but...
but it was the right call,
Titanfall 3 is still a possibility. Sometime in the future. You know, I say let them take as much time as they need to really make a version of a Titanfall sequel that will allow the IP to really take a big leap. And with Apex Legends being so successful, expanding on the lore, and with a lot of learnings, no doubt, coming from Apex Legends, maybe this will allow Titanfall 3 to be that much better when it one day launches compared to what it would have been, just sort of an iteration.
I hope that'll be great news. That'll be great if that's what happens.
When it was meant to launch before Apex Legends. So I don't know. Maybe good things will come out of this in the end, but for now, fans are mourning about what could have been and what didn't end up happening, and are still keeping their fingers crossed that there is hope yet for the Titanfall series specifically. Hope can be dangerous when it comes to the Titanfall series, but I feel like the fact that any breadcrumbs surrounding Titanfall's development or a potential Titanfall 3 can go this viral might give Respawn and EA
there's fans Respawn.
Clearly,
we love Titanfall.
People want this. And if we can market it right, release it at the right time, and make the big next steps that the series needs to take from a gameplay and visual perspective to really stand out, maybe it can be a successful product. Maybe it'll get them in that mindset, because I do think Titanfall 3 can be extremely successful if they get it right.
Respawn, if you do make a Titanfall 3, please don't release it in the fall. Put it in like summer, because as we know now from the fall 2023 games, there's too many games coming out in the fall. Let's move some games into that summer, you know, because please no. Just please don't. My money, my bank account.
I mean, mechs with frickin' boots on the ground, futuristic shooter, like, what is there not to love about that, right?
Everything.
Or at least
Everything
that's one man's
is
take.
great about it.
Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on these latest revelations surrounding
my opinions about
canceled
this.
Titanfall 3 project, and whether you think there's hope for an eventual
I can only
Titanfall
hope.
3 release.
I can only hope.
Share your thoughts in the comments below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on YongYea. I'll see you guys next time. YongYea
out. Okay, good revelation. Good revelation. Yeah, Titanfall, everybody. Titanfall. That is the reason why it was canceled. For once, EA is not the bad guy here. EA did nothing wrong this time. I know it's shocking. When it comes with EA and game studios or games like just stuff happening, it's always EA being the bad guy. They're not the bad guy for once. It's just the people behind Titanfall 3 that decided, you know what? It's not the right time. Let's make something different. Which is understandable. It worked out in the long run. But I do hope Titanfall 3 is still like possible. Because it's such a great series. It's a unique series too. No one is doing like boots on the ground with mech combinations. No one's doing that, I don't think. And it was so good. It was so good. It was just at the wrong time. But I am glad this is the reason why Titanfall 3 was canceled. It wasn't like EA came in like, hey, stop that, shut that down, make Apex Legends, stop it. It was like, you know what? It's not going in the right direction we wanted to. Let's make a new game. Let's go a new different route. And the route worked. The route did work. Now, I'm just saying, you know, you want to put some Titans and some Apex Legends around there, you might go ahead, man, you know, test the waters, maybe, you know, put some Titans in there. I wouldn't be opposed. I might download Apex Legends again and hop back on it if you put some Titans in there. I'm just saying, you know, you don't have to, but you probably should. But great, this is great fun, great news. I still don't agree with the whole, we wanted to revolutionize Titanfall 3, you know, it was too chaotic for newcomers. Nah, let them get used to it. That's great. That's great. If everything's chaotic, that's greatness. That's great fun. Your eyes are always moving. That's why people like Battlefield. Well, in the past, that's why people like Battlefield. Because it was always chaotic. Always stuff happening. You got fighting on the ground, planes flying in the air, tanks coming at you, buildings being destroyed. It was great fun. People like Battlefield 3, 4, when it was working, 2. People like the old Battlefield games. It was fun when it was chaotic. I say, if Titanfall 3 is still on the table, keep the same fun we like from Titanfall 2. Make it chaotic, have all the extra stuff happen. It was fun times. I wasn't like, oh my god, there's too much stuff happening. I can't play this game anymore. Nah, I was never like that when playing it. It was always fun. Always fun. But yeah, I'm out of here. I'm about to grab me something to eat. So yeah, thank you for watching. TrashDaKid's out of here, everyone. Deuces, y'all.
Mama said get out of bed, it's time to pray. Leave your ego at the door, it's in the way. Cause we just trying to get ahead, yeah. Put some money in the offering plate.